PAC to haul up ministries following release of Auditor General's report. Redevelopment of Kampung Baru must retain its Malayness and Islamic spirits. Good evening, I'm Zaliakan Ismail and you're watching News on 2. The Auditor General's Report 2016 Series 1 tabled today at the Dewan Rakyat contains 353 recommendations to assist the federal government, federal statutory bodies and state governments in rectifying identified weaknesses. Auditor General Tan Sri Dr. Madinah Muhammad said two of the recommendations pertain to the federal government's 2016 financial statement. Also included were 90 federal government ministry and department activities and 244 financial management of state government departments, agencies and companies. On financial management performance rating, she said 25 ministries, 18 federal departments, 38 federal statutory bodies, 138 state ministries or departments, 41 state statutory bodies, 41 local authorities and 6 Islamic religious councils had been audited. Meanwhile, Tan Sri Dr. Madinah said federal government revenue for 2016 amounted to 212.421 billion ringgit compared to 219.089 billion ringgit in 2015, showing a downward trend following the drop in world crude oil price. The report and synopsis can be accessed through the National Audit Department's website. The Public Accounts Committee will haul up ministries and departments in the near future following the release of the Auditor General's Report 2016 Series 1 in Parliament today. Its chairman, Datuk Sri Hassan Arifin, said the PAC has received financial statements of all the ministries as well as departments and federal statutory bodies and will convene a meeting this week to decide on the issue.
Ini kita akan putuskan. Perkara ini sumber masa kita tidak putuskan lagi. Dalam masa akan datang kita akan putuskan mana jabatan kementerian dan jabatan yang akan panggil untuk disiasat.
The 2016 Auditor General's report was released today. During a closed-door meeting earlier, the PAC was briefed by the AG's department on the findings of the report. Meanwhile, on another matter, Datuk Sri Hassan Arifin announced that 61 federal ministry agencies, including federal statutory departments and bodies, attained 5-star or excellent ratings from the Auditor General's Report 2016 Series 1, whereas 29 were listed as 4-star or good.
Berdasarkan kepada laporan Ketua Audit Negara bagi tahun 2016, bagi pengesahan penyata kewangan tahun 2016 sejumlah 46 kementerian, jabatan, badan berkanun, persekutuan menerima sijil tanpa teguran. Bagi penyata kewangan tahun 2016, kesemua 145 penyata kewangan telah diterima. Setakat 28 Julai 2017, sebanyak 46 penyata kewangan telah disijilkan dan 99 sedang diaudit. Dan jangka semua penyata kewangan akan diberi sijil sebelum 31 Ogos 2017.
Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi today said the redevelopment of Kampung Baru must retain the village's Islamic spirit and Malay heritage that has been in existence for 113 years. He said that in line with the changing times, the village could not escape development, but it should retain its very own identity and historical characteristics. Speaking at the launch of the Kampung Baru Residency REH project at Jalan Raja Ali, Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid said it was hoped that all quarters, including the residents of Kampung Baru, would extend support to the developers so that the area could be developed on par with the development in the vicinity.
Kita mesti memajukan kawasan yang dianggap sebagai cukup ketinggalan ini. Dan kita harap bahawa apabila kemajuan ini dilakukan, kita mahu melihat bahawa kemajuan di kawasan ini tidak akan meninggalkan ruh yang telah saya sebutkan tadi.
The residency REH project, developed in the Kuala Lumpur Golden Triangle, comprises a 39-story block of 187 condominium units being built by REH Properties Corporation Sdn Bhd at a gross development value of 182 million ringgit. The project, which began in May, is expected to be completed in May 2019. There are over 3,772,000 unregistered voters in Malaysia as at March this year. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Datuk Seri Azalina Othman, revealed that the total number were those above the age of 21 who are eligible to vote. Datuk Seri Azalina added that the Elections Commission has received 1,454 voter registration objections between January and March 2017. On the issue of whether Malaysian temporary MyCard holders were allowed to vote, she said they were not considered as Malaysian nationals and therefore are not eligible to register as voters as they do not have the right to vote. Datuk Seri Azalina was responding to a question from Batu Kawan Member of Parliament, Kasturi Patus, on the number of eligible voters based on age, race and state, as well as whether temporary MyCard holders were allowed to vote. As of 26th of July, the Court on Sexual Crimes Against Children has solved 11 cases out of 62 registered. According to the Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Datuk Seri Azalina Othman said 25 cases are still in mention, while 26 are currently on trial. The court was initially established in Putrajaya to hear and pass verdict on cases of sexual crimes against children in the districts of Petaling Jaya, Shah Alam, Kuala Lumpur and Putrajaya. The cases registered under the court will be solved or disposed of within 1 year from the date of registration. Elaborating further, Datuk Seri Azalina said that the court is equipped with appropriate infrastructures and technology.
Mahkamah Jenayah Seksual terhadap kanak-kanak ini telah dilengkapi dengan sistem court recording transcription CRT, sistem audiovisual dan bilik saksi kanak-kanak dan bilik menunggu saksi kanak-kanak iaitu bilik permata.
The court is handled by a Jusasi Great Sessions Court judge. The appointment of a Jusasi Great Sessions Court judge was due to the legal complexity of the cases involved, which also involved cross-border crimes. A total of 15,617 cases of domestic violence were reported to the Royal Malaysian Police PDRM between 2014 to December 2016. Of the total, 74% of the victims were women, while the remaining 26% were men. Minister of Women, Family and Community Development, Datuk Seri Rohani Abdul Karim said among the reasons for the violent acts were bickerings over child custody rights, drug addiction and stress at work.
Apa agaknya punca-punca lain yang menyebabkan
dia macam-macam Hani. Kadang dia bukan satu ni aja, kadang-kadang tekanan daripada kerja dan sebagainya, kan dia memang stres. Lepas tu isu kewangan, ada juga isu orang ketiga, isu cemburu. Dia combination Hani, dia kadang-kadang dia bukan hanya satu, dia pelbagai. Tapi kita asyik kata dia kena ada sefahaman. Sebab itu
Speaking on the Good Morning Malaysia program on TV1, Datuk Seri Rohani Abdul Karim explained that various efforts were being done to curb the issue, including amending the Domestic Violence Act. Among the amendments are to expand the scope of interpretation of domestic violence and making it more comprehensive in line with current times. A remand order has been issued today for a housewife who was arrested last night for allegedly causing the death of a 3-year-old stepson on Thursday. Sarawak CID Chief SAC Datuk Dev Kumar said this is to facilitate investigation into the case under Section 302 of the Penal Code. The 22-year-old woman was arrested at her house in Kampung Terimah Lubai, Limbang, Sarawak after elements of abuse were found on the child's body. Datuk Dev said police will investigate the cause of death upon receiving the doctor's report. The woman on Thursday lodged a report at the Limbang police station at 9 p.m. on Thursday, claiming that her stepson was found unconscious on the bathroom floor of their house at 4 p.m. The suspect said that her stepson was playing alone in the bathroom while she was in the kitchen and only realized the incident after she returned to the bathroom. She then rushed him to the Limbang hospital for treatment but was pronounced dead. Militants linked to the Daesh global terror network who attacked the city of Marawi in neighboring Philippines are not directly threatening Sabah. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Datuk Sri Shahidan Kasim, said to prevent the ongoing kidnapping for ransom activities, the Eastern Sabah Security Command or ASCOM had identified 2 pilot projects to migrate villagers in Sandakan and Semporna. He said based on past intrusions in the waters of Sabah, ASCOM had identified 5 villages in Sandakan and 9 in Semporna to be relocated. Speaking in Parliament today, he said that ASCOM had also increased its surveillance and checks at all gazetted entry and exit points from Sabah. Selangor Police today confirmed the arrest of an inspector for allegedly receiving bribe in exchange for releasing a suspect in a kidnap case. The inspector, who is attached to the Gombak District Police Headquarters, was arrested last week and is being held under remand until Wednesday. Speaking to the media in Klang today, Selangor Police Chief Datuk Mazlan Mansur said there will be no compromise and the case will be investigated impartially.
Kita telus dalam apa saja tindakan kita ya dalam pasukan polis siasatan. Sungguh pun walaupun pegawai penyiasat diri yang terlibat untuk apa orang kata kepentingan sendiri, maka kita tidak ada kompromi. Kita tetap akan mengambil tindakan kepada siapa saja.
On July 27th, the Selangor Criminal Investigation Department arrested an investigating officer attached to the Gombak headquarters. He is suspected of having taken gratification to release a detainee who was involved in a kidnap case in Gombak earlier this year. A woman driver was killed when her car lost control and rammed into the road divider along Batu Tujuh, Binjol, Baling, Kedah this morning. Kedah Fire and Rescue Department Public Relations Officer Muhammad Mustaqim said the victim, Siti Nur Aisyah Abu Hassam, 32, who was pinned to the vehicle, died at the scene of the accident. The Fire and Rescue Department received the emergency call at 8:39 a.m. A 6-man team headed by Senior Fire Officer 2, Shu'aib Abdul Rahman, immediately rushed over to the scene of the accident. The deceased body was handed over to the police for further action. Police have successfully defused a World War II bomb at a field next to the Road Transport Department RTD premise in Sandakan, Sabah today. Sandakan District Police Chief ACP Muhammad Azhar Muhammad Hamid said certain roads were closed from 3 p.m. till 4 p.m. in order for the Sabah Police Headquarters Bomb Destruction Unit to defuse the bomb safely. ACP Muhammad Azhar said the affected roads were Jalan Lintas Utara from Bulatan Nasalim till Bulatan Helang and Jalan Kem Tentera in front of the RTD premise, which also suspended its operations at 3 p.m. He further advised residents around the area not to panic and to stay away from the area until it is declared safe. On Friday, a bomb weighing 269 kilograms was discovered at a road construction site by a heavy machinery worker while excavating earth. Aeschylus, an ancient Greek playwright, once said, "It's not the oath that makes us believe the man, but the man the oath." Simply put, it means when a man makes a promise, the promise does not make us believe what the man says is true, but when someone is a good man, then we believe. There's no glory without sacrifice. That's the oath pinned in the hearts of each and every one of our warriors, be it on land, sea or air. For Malaysian Army veterans, the oath that they took to honour and sacrifice for the country remains in their hearts, and we as Malaysians should also play our part in honouring their sacrifices.
Akan mengharumkan nama baik dari hijau hingga ke air hayat. Itu. Jadi sumpah itu kami pegang sampailah kami, walaupun dah bersara, terpaksa memang kami akan, sebab semangat juang yang takkan luntur adalah yang kami rasa sebagai seorang anggota komando. Sama juga pada anggota ATM yang lain.
These soldiers, current and veterans, continue to pledge their loyalty to defend the sovereignty of the country, risking their lives each day to protect the people. Some are even ready and willing to go back to the field if called upon.
Tugas 18 tahun tu banyak manis pahit, tapi no complaints lah. Kalau diberi peluang saya akan tugas lagi juga. Kalau hari ini dipanggil pakai uniform saya akan pergi juga, sebab kita dah dalam darah daging kita taat setia kepada negara.
You can always count on our soldiers to answer the call from the country to defend it from outside threats or intrusions. To all of them, thank you for keeping us safe. We at RTM would like to wish them Happy Warriors Day. And coming up next, Felda incurred 2.06 billion ringgit losses via FGV stake. The Domestic Trade, Cooperatives and Consumerism Ministry is still discussing with the Finance Ministry on improving the current method of setting the prices for petrol and diesel. Minister concerned, Datuk Sri Hamzah Zainuddin, said the discussions were held following feedback from various stakeholders, including oil companies on June 20th and petrol station operators on July 6th.
Kita berjumpa dengan mereka dan berbincang dengan mereka bagaimana caranya untuk memastikan dalam keadaan mana sekalipun mereka tidak mengalami kerugian yang besar. Kalaupun ada rugi, insya-Allah yang boleh diterima oleh mereka. Sebab walau bagaimana sekalipun mengikut trend harganya, ia ada kadang-kadang kala turun dan kadang-kadang harga naik.
Speaking in Parliament today, Datuk Sri Hamzah said the implementation of the new pricing strategy would also take into account the interests of all parties, including consumers' ability to pay. On complaints from petrol station operators that they had suffered losses following the weekly pricing schedule, he said the government had taken initiatives to ensure acceptable losses. He said that with the rising world oil prices over the past few weeks, it was hoped that petrol station operators would not incur further losses until the new strategy was announced. The Federal Land Authority of Felda has incurred unrealized losses of approximately 2.06 billion ringgit that came from its 21.25% direct stake in Felda Global Ventures Holdings Berhad FGV. Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Datuk Razali Ibrahim, said these losses as of June 30th, 2017 were not recorded in Felda's financial statements, as FGV was classified as an associate to Felda. In a written reply to Kampar MP, Dr. Ko Chung Sen in the Dewan Rakyat today, Datuk Razali said as of June 30th, 2017, Felda Investment Corporation Sdn Berhad FIC, a wholly owned subsidiary of Felda, had been given a capital injection of 500 million ringgit. He also said government had no plans yet to privatize FGV as it was listed on Bursa Malaysia and was subject to the regulation of the Securities Commission. Dr. Koh had asked the Prime Minister to state the amount of money Felda has invested in FGV and Felda Investment Corporation Sdn Berhad FIC, the present value of the investment and the total amount of profit or loss made. The Works Ministry has tasked its private delivery partners to monitor the Pan-Borneo Highway contractors to ensure the safety of road users. Deputy Works Minister Datuk Rosna Abdul Rashid Sherlin stressed that action will be taken against any negligent contractor who compromised on road safety.
Tanggungjawab utama pihak PDP adalah untuk memastikan pihak kontraktor menjalankan pelan pengawalan trafik yang berhormat. Yang penting untuk diadakan semasa proses pembinaan. Dan pihak PDP sewajarnya yang berhormat, sepatutnya mengadakan audit dari masa ke semasa.
The Pan-Borneo Highways Phase 1, due to be completed this year, will cover the span of Kuching, Sibu, Bintulu, Miri, Limbang areas. The second phase, which involves Limbang to Lawas, will kick off in the near future. Rapid KL has refuted allegations that several of its token vending machines, TVM, at the Sungai Buloh MRT station were faulty and said that it was in good working order. Rapid KL, in a statement issued by Prasarana Malaysia Berhad yesterday, said the long queue of passengers at its machines was due to the sudden surge of passengers due to the overwhelming response to the service. It also explained that the tokens at the machines needed to be replenished, which required some time. Rapid KL advised commuters to use the cashless mode of travelling using the My Rapid Touch and Go TNG cards, which can also be used at all Rapid KL travel networks. Foreign buying surged 4 times last week, hitting the 309.4 million ringgit last week compared to the previous week. According to MIDF researchers' analysis, despite the regional uncertainties, the inflow of foreign funds to the local equity market continued daily over the past week. The research house said foreign investors were net buyers for 6 consecutive days, the longest period from 20th April to 16 May 2017. Foreign currencies peaked today at 125.3 million ringgit and saw the local benchmark FPM KLCI close above the 760-point level. The average daily trading volume ADTV of foreign investors increased 11% from 739 million ringgit to 818 million ringgit last week. Foreign funds inflow breached the 485.3 million ringgit mark as of July 28, surpassing the number recorded for June 2017. Malaysia is also home to the largest number of listed companies in ASEAN, and at billion US dollars, Bursa Malaysia also recorded the highest in funds raised in the last 5 years among the 10-member regional body. And that concludes this evening's News on 2. In our top story, PAC to haul up ministries following release of Auditor General's report. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon for more updates. I'm Zalakan Ismail. Good night and thanks for watching.